Insta, so
I'm
yeah, I
not-
see one at least.
Good, good. I'm not in the picture.
No, that's fine. I put it here because I don't want you guys to be in the picture. I know you guys like
Mhm.
maybe you don't want to. Well, typically how Matt starts his event before, and this kind of I steal from him. This stuff is we go over a name, your year, major, minor. Um, I add cultural diversity, but usually there's religious diversity and the pronouns that you want to go by. So I start by myself. I am Mohammed. I'm a sophomore here at UNF. I'm a mechanical engineering major. I'm minor in leadership, also part of the Hicks Honors College. My religious diversity is Muslim. My cultural diversity would be Persian. And my pronouns are he, him, or his.
Okay. I'll go. I'm Matt Hartley. I'm staff. I was an English major, religion minor, and master's degree in religion. Religious diversity, I'm a Christian who looks to liberation theology and Celtic nature-based Christianity. And my cultural diversity, like white, European, British, American, and pronouns he, him, his.
Okay, I'm Bryant Wilcox. I'm the interfaith specialist here. My major was religion and philosophy at Bethune-Cookman University, and my minor was actually English. And my concentration was Christian ministries. Pronouns he, him, his. I don't per se associate with Christian, that term, but I do consider myself a follower of the religion of Jesus, a disciple of Christ. And yeah, that's me. Graduated from Bethune-Cookman University in 2020, so 2 years ago.
That's nice. I'll leave it for you then.
Okay, I'm Tanasha. I'm a freshman, double major in Spanish and history, religious diversity, not very religious, cultural diversity, I'm African American, and pronouns she, her, hers, they, them, theirs.
Okay. Yeah. Alright, so good stuff. So before I really go, oops, sorry. Very to chess beating, I thought it was a better idea if I play it. Oops, I don't think I can.
Is this a video?
It is a video, so
Let's see if we can get pulled up.
yeah. Because I was thinking before I actually even describe it, let's decide like showing the 5 minutes of this because it's 17 minutes. I don't want you guys. Yeah.
Let's try, maybe if we open it in here.
Yeah, that might work.
Let's try that.
Sure. Sorry, it
No.
was last minute stuff. I do. Are you part of any colloquium groups?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I used to be back in there like soccer too. Back in
Soccer.
colloquium. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Yeah, alright. Good. Just until 5 minutes because this is a bit long video. I'll just like 5 minutes because so you guys can see what chess media looks like. For those who don't know. Doesn't have a sound in the beginning. I'm probably gonna make this big.
This is chest beating.
Yeah, this is what just me.
Now, did this originate in the region that you're from? Or does it have somewhere else?
This is in Iraq, so kind of not really in Iran, honestly. I have one in Persian later on, but this is Arabic, yeah. So this is not. I mean, this is in Middle East, which is Iraq, but not necessarily my country.
Okay, so it's not unique to where you're from.
Yeah, but it is from that region, yes.
Okay.
The present day boundaries were not the boundaries that were always there in terms of countries. Yeah, so these regions were Iraq to Iran were a little bit more contiguous at some points than enemies like they are.
Yeah, it used to be from Palestine all the way over to those not Palestine all the way to like border of China, and from the north like towards in Russia,
Yeah.
and towards the south maybe even part of the Saudi Arabia. It was
Several
supposed to be
different
connected.
Islamic empires in that region.
Yeah. Yeah, this is why he used the sentence Arabic Wahid, which means your Iraq is united. Just because that's this country.
Right. So it becomes kind of nationalistic.
Yeah, he becomes more nationalistic over there. Absolutely.
Yeah. But would Shia Muslims in Iraq identify more with Iran?
Honestly, the thing is, usually every single Arabic countries in the region or not, they consider Iraqis being very close to Persians just because the way their grammar works, especially in dialect, is very close to Persian because they use words like G, which doesn't even exist in Arabic.
Right.
You don't have like G or
Right.
what else? Che, which Iraqis use it a lot.
Yeah.
So the vernacular, not the belief system necessarily.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is not belief, but maybe like towards literature.
So Iraq is majority Shia.
Majority.
Right?
Not-
Majority Shia.
Yeah, majority.
Which and Iran is like almost is overwhelmingly Shia. Right.
I mean, it's still a majority for Iran as well, but it's very overwhelming. Though.
So part of the conflict in Iraq has been between the Sunni and Shia groups, and oftentimes, I know that some Shia leaders in Iraq have kind of made allegiance to leaders in Iran, Shia leaders in Iran.
And that's martial law, right? In Iran?
I don't necessarily go to martial law. Honestly, my political knowledge is a little bit low.
Yeah.
About the region. So
Do you know that? Is it martial law in Iran? I thought it was.
Let's table that for now. We'll look it up. I'm not totally sure.
Okay.
Well, you guys see the chess beating the way they does it, and usually the reason is because when it goes to public, it usually men. It's because it's a show and an act that we men do, other than women. Honestly, mostly doesn't mean women don't do it. It just is very few.
So it's
Should we show public?
it's sort of a performance of masculinity.
Well, the thing is a performance that even the feminine can do, or
Okay.
other genders.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the only one that we make it public usually, like the only ones that usually are public are men's,
Okay.
are men's stuff. I think just media stuff.
Yeah.
Not really a lot. So, but why be chess beat? So the history is that obviously there's like very known that someone named Imam Hussein just went to Karbala and with all of his companions get killed over there in Karbala, which is towards southeastern of Iraq.
So
If you
if
look
we
at-
can trace that out for our guests here who may not be familiar. So Hussein is right after Prophet Muhammad.
I have the family tree over here in a second. So
Okay, good.
It'll explain. I realized that this would happen.
Okay, cool.
So I have the family tree in a second because all of this will lead into that.
Okay, cool.
Especially since there's a black side and white side, which I'll explain that in the family tree as well. And it has like a philosophy behind it because it was kind of battle between what is supposed to be right or religion against because someone like Yazid who like very corrupted. I'll explain like the acts he did on a family tree as well, especially how we trace down his family out and you find out like why he was such a person. And the last one to be answered is like who is Ahlul Bayt, which is the family tree of Pope. Shows clearly. Okay, actually before that, especially to the I think it was a question of Bryant talking about Arbaeen, what it is. So Arbaeen actually comes from the word Arba'a, which is 4. So Arbaeen becomes 40 that we use. And this is just like a grammar stuff that we use. And tradition is usually in history, countries from outside, like not even countries close to the region, even like people from America or even Europe, like they go to this parade, walking towards Karbala from every single country, bringing this parade like to 20 million people every year. There you go. Unfortunately, nobody shows it. Not a lot of media shows this.
Right.
It's like 20, 40 million gathering, like just parading towards this city. Especially from Iran, they just like literally walk from all the way from the border, past 5, 6 cities or 10 cities to get there. And it is very amazing when you look at it. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of which, I also now I had a Persian one that it was kind of close to my country now.
Okay.
So actually, the translation was made by me. So if there's any mistakes in me, I made it to English.
And it's chest beating. C-H-E.
Chest. Yep. Chest beating. We beat on our chest. Let's go for animation because my country made this. I might be wrong about this geography that I put this in video, so don't judge me because I had to double guess myself on these locations. That's how we are. Just describing it.
You know, Muhammad, one of the interesting comparisons that's coming to mind for me in both of these videos so far with the music and the lyrics and even the visual of the men beating the chest and the room together is it seems very similar to emotive forms of Christian worship. So, like, one thing I was reminded of was like evangelical churches that have like, they'll have like bands and just like this incredibly emotional worship music, and people are just like singing their hearts out, and it's very physical in the way that, not necessarily chest beating, although you could see people doing something similar. But that was like reminded. Brian, did you
Yeah.
see any comparison to emotive like forms you've seen?
Oh yeah, I was thinking about like the what was the band that was really popular, or the group, not Elevation Worship.
One of those, yeah.
You know how they would have everybody in those big like those big cathedrals almost.
Yeah.
And they would be kind of
Yeah,
everybody's.
yeah.
You know, so yeah.
It's a very interesting comparison.
Yeah, and usually I had a picture of that over there
That's
too.
Hillsong.
Right
Yeah.
inside it. It has a parade that usually sometimes you take a picture of it. So I decided I had this in mind. I kind of steal this from my dad.
Okay.
He doesn't know it, but this shows the situation of that day in Ashura that we talk about, which is the 40th of this event, which you see the army of the enemy of the Yazid circling him around, circling Imam Hussein as companions around his tent, and there's obviously his companions and himself, and then they had tents usually back there, so they had they put like their families or those that coming was important, they would like live in the tents, backside away from the battle usually, and especially I think they have tents over there, but I don't know why they didn't put it. Kind of messed this up, but anyway, but this is just a visualization of someone who draw it, this situation, and I thought it was a good visual
Yeah,
picture of having that in mind of the city, and especially like tells you of the locations, although unfortunately it's in Arabic, so I couldn't find the English one, but
Karbala, what does that stand for?
I'm sorry?
What is Karbala? What does that stand for? Karbala?
Oh, it's a city.
City.
Is a right now it's a city that those two videos showed. Like there was like a shrine, and that is the city of Karbala. But it used to be desert, like this.
And
So-
does it have a meaning?
It's the place where this happened, and it's the place where they go for the pilgrimage.
But it doesn't have like a specific meaning. It's just a city.
It's just a name, yeah. It's the name for it. I mean, Karbala probably has a meaning. I just don't remember right now on top of my head. Because I think Bala, this part comes from disaster. Or no, about Karb though. I have to search that one up. Because Karb also means something else.
Okay.
Which comes from like two words. So you're technically right, but I don't remember it. Obviously. That's the problem. Okay, there we go. I put the family tree over here, which kind of explains it. Especially since some people have a little bit issue over here whenever that comes in mind. When we trace them, because sometimes when you ask Muslims like what happened, only thing they're gonna give you is gonna name of Imam Hussein and Yazid. That's all they're gonna give you. They're not gonna say like what happened or what's the reason behind it happening. So if you trace them, Prophet obviously he had his father Abdullah and his uncle Abu Talib. They were like brothers because they were like Abdul Muttalib had like I think 10 sons or something. Like had a huge family, but I only focused on Abdul Talib because they were brothers, and Abu Talib became the father of Imam Ali, which we have, and Abdullah became the father of the Prophet, because Prophet didn't have like sisters or brothers. Maybe through some other meanings, like like someone breastfeeding your children and then they become your sisters or brothers, but not in the way of sense of blood related. Not that way. When Prophet came in, when he obviously made Khadija, he came with a daughter. I mean, he had some sons and he had some other daughters. But since Lady Fatima Zahra is related because it's the mother of Imam Hussein, that's why I only put one. And the marriage of Imam Ali, which was the cousin of the Prophet, now becomes son-in-law of the Prophet. This is what trips people up, how it is. The way it's because he married the daughter of the Prophet and became the son-in-law. Their marriages are like 5 children, I think 5 or 6. I didn't die myself here, but I think it's 5. And one of them was obviously Imam Hussein, which we talk about in the event. So that's how his generation came on. And especially if you go Abdul Muttalib, if you go even past the family tree, you will get to Ishmael and then Abraham. So it connects back to the branches of prophets. But what about Yazid? Why you could be said he's like an evil man? Well, he during the time that this was happening, he would drink, like get drunk, and not only that, he get a monkey. He'll go to what we call it, a standpoint to lecture people with a monkey on his knees and getting drunk. So we say like, how are you gonna lecture people when you're actually honestly breaking their religion right here in public?
Drunk with a monkey.
Drunk with a monkey.
Yeah.
That's what he did. So that was him. His part of Muawiyah was he would do stuff but in secret. So the difference between the father and the son is he would do in private, his father Muawiyah, but Yazid would do it in secret. Sorry, Yazid would do it in public, but Muawiyah in secret. Sorry, I get it mixed up. But then you trace down Muawiyah even more, go to his father and mother. Well, Abu Sufyan was actually the exact enemy of the Prophet itself. He was his enemy for like a few years, like fighting against him, and then by force he became Muslim, obviously, later on. But we also have his wife, Hind the liver eating. Now, the reason we say the liver eating, because she actually did. She ate a liver of a person. During one of the battles the Prophet had with, I think, Abu Sufyan or someone else, when his uncle, Hamza, get murdered, obviously, Hind requested her servant to take the liver of Hamza and she ate it right there. So that's what we call it, Hind the liver eating. Because she ate it.
Yeah.
Right there. Any confusion over the family tree? Because I know it's getting confused right over here. Or any questions so far? Okay, so after that event happened, they went to Karbala and the companions. I put it in Instagram of the interest group itself, like what happened each day. So if you guys want to, you can just like go there and see because they did day by day when this happened. But what happened afterwards? Well, the women and children were taken hostage, went all the way to Kufa and then to Damascus and Syria towards Yazid. So he has like a program, but he lost a political battle. We never say Yazid lost the physical battle because he won. Obviously, just murdered everybody, but he lost a political battle anyway. Because the speeches that Lady Zainab did and stuff happened. Lady Zainab was the sister of Imam Hussein, just to avoid confusion. He lost the political battle anyway. But what happened afterwards when they returned? Someone named Mukhtar ibn Abu Isafli, he rose against them a few years later when he was freed from prison, and obviously killed whoever who was responsible for that atrocity. And actually, Iran made the film and has an English subtitle. So if you're interested, I put the link over there. I think. Sure. Yeah. Okay. So the playlist is right there. If you just
long episodes.
It is. It is very long episodes, and I think it's 40 episodes.
40 episodes. That's
40
like
episodes.
That's like a whole show.
Yeah. Although it
Four
comes
seasons.
And this is the story of
the story of Mukhtar himself.
how you pronounce Mukhtar?
Mukhtar. Because he, although his history focused first on the region of Imam Hassan, like before all of this happened, because obviously it's focusing on Mukhtar himself, like what he did, wrong or did. Later on it goes to obviously Ashura and stuff and talk about the events past that, and then they show his rising. And until he get martyred by another rising at the end. So it is there, and I checked to see if they're not lying, and they're not lying. It has English subtitles, so you can understand by just reading the subtitles what they say. And yeah, Bani Umayyah finally after rise and few years after this stuff happened, it fall apart, and the Bani Abbas dynasty took over.
How would I find that on YouTube? I just typed in story of Mukhtar.
You got this. You got this thing in your email.
Okay.
He sent me
Because
the-
I sent you the presentation.
You-
If you
you
want
sent
to,
me
I
the
can send
presentation.
you. I got because I didn't send you, but if you want to, I can definitely send. I have the like the sign-in sheet here, so if you put your name and number, I'll give you access to it. Yeah. Although the name is over here as well. If you just type that over here, I'll give you the playlist anyway. Boost. Let's talk about the radicals because I know we talked about campus preachers before.
Uh-huh.
I know the event because we also have radicals right here. For some reason, there are some people they think that okay, we should actually have a knife and have one chest beating and bleed, like we stab ourselves with a knife or even eat it. Because when I used to be, I think 7th grade or I think it was 3rd grade, I had a friend who showed a whole video of this happening to us in the class. So I know it's happening already. I'm not like denying it because we have some radicals with this.
Are these guys, like, is that blood on them?
Yes,
It is blood. It is their
Yeah.
blood?
it is their blood.
Yeah.
And they have a knife in their hands, so
They
they're
cut-
just
they
literally
cut
stabbing
themselves?
themselves.
They actually cut themselves?
Mm-hmm. They
They
actually
cut
cut
themselves on the
themselves.
head? Is that what they do?
And a head and whatever.
Okay.
I saw the video. They do something straight. They even like eat the knife, and then throw it up
Oh, wow.
to that level. They do this stuff,
Wow.
and
You remember that, don't you, Matt? In Elijah
Uh-huh.
with the prophets of Baal, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So we have those radicals even like worse in my own country. That they're campus preachers. I see like worse. I've seen worse on these. So that's what I try to talk about because we had the campus preachers and we talk about it obviously. And I said, hey, okay, I'm gonna put this down. I tried to find the disturbing one. Obviously.
Yeah.
I tried to find the disturbing one because they have their blood on them and even over here. This blood is coming from his head because his head is.
Yeah, he sliced himself up.
Yep.
Yeah,
He
he's
sliced
bleeding,
himself
they're
up.
bleeding down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
This
these
is
radicals.
to show their commitment, right?
Yes, but this is. Whenever you talk to the religious people, it's like this is not how you're supposed to do this. Because when people look at this, they're like, "Oh, you guys stab yourself? I'm not gonna be like a Muslim or something. I'm gonna run away from religion." I was like, "This is why I'm calling them radicals.
Yeah.
I want to call them Muslims anyway because, like, dude, you're not supposed to do this.
Yeah.
I don't do this. Whenever we do in our
Uh-huh.
center, we don't do this stuff.
Yeah.
But there are
Do you
people
do the
out
chest
there.
beating?
We do the chest beating, but
Okay.
we don't do what
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
There's a such an action because it's not only life, they're using some other means to hit themselves
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, but well, those are even more disturbing, so I'm not even bringing that up.
Mm-hmm.
But the radical existed. But normal way, if you actually drive by in the region during those days, especially, at least this is my country because the light bulb, because that's how you have it. The what we call it, the lights that you when you drive and you have stuff by the red light. This is how the lights look like in my country. So this is obviously mine, but usually by region, if you like drive by these days or the days that this happening, you have like stations that we call it the Salawati stations, just because you'll say something or you send your peace to the Prophet and his family, and they give you like a tea, cube sugar, something. That's why I have dates here, because if you guys want to,
Mm-hmm.
it's something that we ate those days, and it's like very common eating, and then you get tea. Usually, if it's a happy event, they have juice instead.
Huh.
But if it's a sad event, it's like a tea with a cube sugar, or maybe dates, or something that give you the darkness or sadness
Okay.
that you need. But if it's a happy event, they give you like a juice or something like very sweet. So it's a happy thing. So you know there's like a happy stuff going on. I think with that, yep. Any questions you guys have?
So this is happening when?
Doesn't have a specific date because this follows the Islamic calendar,
Okay.
which moves every year.
So it changes.
So it changes depending on happen. This year it was this month, September.
It was September. How
It
many?
was-
How many days?
Actually, it was this past Saturday that we passed on.
So it's just one day.
It is one day.
It's one day. And what Islamic month is it in?
It is in Muharram, the first month.
It's Muharram. Okay.
Muharram, yeah.
Yeah.
When we have the Muharram happens and actually no, I'm sorry, it's in Safar. My bad.
It's in-
Arbaeen in Safar, which is the second month.
The second month. Okay.
It's like right after you come Muharram, this happens, which is
Okay.
Safar.
Gotcha.
The second month in Islamic calendar because the first one is Muharram, which obviously Ashura happens
Right.
and stuff like that. If you take from the 10th day of that month, like come 40 days, you come to 20th of Safar, which becomes the next month.
Mhm.
And this happens right a month after. And it's only one day. Although the Ashura and Muharram stuff is like 10 days or
Do you,
honestly,
have you or any of your family been to Karbala for it?
once.
Once.
I mean, not for this specific event, but for Kabbalah itself, you have been once.
You've been to Karbala, but not for Arbaeen.
No.
Okay.
It's get very crowded that time. The tickets are full.
Yeah.
You can't find any tickets for that day because everybody wants to go there
Yeah. Yeah.
that day. This is especially Beno Haram. I mean, this is his shrine.
Mm-hmm.
That events happen, and these things that you see, this happen in Beno Haram, which they obviously pull it always. So if you like walk, and no cars allowed or like walk there because you're walking this distance between his shrine and his brother. Our Fazil Abbas, which he also martyred that day in Kabul. So their shrines are next to each other, so you can walk all the way through this passage.
Stand right by here so I can take a picture of your old
Sure.
craft.
If you want to.
Yeah.
Maybe I should put my mask up.
Yeah. You want to do that? Great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Got it. Good.
Especially if you want
questions.
house sponsors, you can take a picture. I know house sponsors are something that you need for first year, so it's honor stuff. I mean, although I focus
Thank
on
you.
honor
Thank
stuff,
you for this, Muhammad. It was very informative.
I try my best.
Yeah.
I try my best.
Great. Well, appreciate it. And
Yeah.